Hi there, Maureen from Color Me Positive PLR, and I just want to show you a bit of what you can do with these coloring book assets. They're easy to work with and fun too. So if you're going to create a coloring book, you're going to want to create a PowerPoint file or however you put your coloring books together. And this would be like the right page, then this is the left, and then this is the right. And I always leave one blank page in between, especially if I'm going to be putting this up on KDP, because the paper is not as thick as I would like it to be for a coloring book. Now, if you're doing printables, or you're going to be selling them on Etsy or in your own shop, you can sell it as a PDF file, and they print it out themselves, so they can use pretty much any paper they like, so it doesn't really have to be on one page. You could have one on the front, one on the back, but this is the way I do it for KDP. Okay, so here's just a few ideas on how you can use the assets, right? So you get the patterns, okay, they're included. Now you can actually use that as a coloring page on its own if that's something you want to do. If you want to do a pattern coloring book or add those in between, you can use it as backgrounds. Okay, you just stick your coloring pages, and this one is a JPEG, and because I wanted a white background there to cover it, right? So simple, easy. There's one coloring page done. Now you get backgrounds, okay, included in the package, and then you have your chipmunks, and you can place them anywhere you like. I thought this was kind of cute with him coming up here, floating with the balloons, right? And him reading. So that's a pretty simple one too. And here's one with just background, one of the patterns you get, and you just stick them on there. And I think on this one I did use a shadow for it. Okay, so if you want to do that, because you see how it makes it pop a little bit more. So you would go to Picture, Effects, Shadow, and yeah, see, I use this one. No shadow, you can just do that, and you're good. Shadow, just go back. There we go. And this one is another with the background, one of the backgrounds you get, and one of the chipmunks. He's a cutie, I like this one. Okay, same thing here. Just take one of the characters, put it on a background. Same thing here, right? But this one I use the JPEG file rather than just the PNG with a transparent file on the transparency on the back, because I wanted the white, and this way I don't have to draw it in. You can actually do that as well if you want. Just go up to your shapes, insert shape, and then put in a rectangle, and you could draw the background in here, right? And you would just change that to white fill with no, or if you did want, white fill with a black outline, right? If you wanted the outline on there, and you could just put your character on top of that if you like. I just chose to bring in the actual JPEG file, and I put a line around it, a really kind of thin line. And here's just two characters that I really, really like. They're cute. And then I put this up here. So text, to make it colorable, is that a word? I'm not sure. You can just go to, you insert your text, right? So I used Impact at 80 font size. Okay, Impact is a pretty good font to use for coloring books because it's a little bit thicker. And all you have to do is come over to Shape Format, and you'll see your text here, and you're going to want to click on White and Text Outline Black, and that will give you this, right? So if it was the other way around, like normally you just have a black, that's how it'll come up kind of thing, and no outline. So it's pretty simple. Type in your text, and then go to Shape Format, Text White, see it disappears, then put an outline around it, black. Okay. And here's just a plain pattern page you can use as a coloring page, and also you can use the backgrounds as coloring pages on their own. You don't even have to add characters if you don't want to. And here's one. I just took one of the patterns that I thought looked kind of cool and was kind of divided into four sections naturally. So I took a bunch of characters, four of them that I like, and then I drew a white circle over here, so I could put it over here and then put the characters on top, right? So an easy way to get these circles done is you draw it out, fit it where you want to, and then you can copy it. So I do Control C, and that copies the image, and then I do Control V, like 3 times, because I want it 4 circles, right? And then you just move them, and this way you have the same size for each circle. So that works out pretty well. Just get rid of these. Up. That's not drag. Just go back. Here we go. I love this back button. There we go. And then you just scale the animals, the chipmunks, to where you want them to be. And I think that makes a pretty cool coloring page itself, just like that. And this one is just one coloring page, and I really like her. I didn't want to add more, take away. Now this one is 3 of the patterns used together, so you can get some really interesting things going on just by, adding them. So I just put a pattern back there, added this one, right? Made it a bit smaller, and then put a stroke around it, which we go to picture format, picture border, actually, yeah. And I made the weight 4.5 because I wanted to show up a little bit more. And I added a shadow to the background. And the same for here. I just made it smaller, fit it in. And I think it looks really cool, And then you could add a character if you want, or if you just wanted this, as a coloring page on its own. It's pretty cool. And here's one with the character and just the background. Again, 2 characters. And 2 characters here. These guys are really cute. And here's one that I used one of the patterns to fill in. So you get these fillet PNG files. Okay? And see how this works? This is the fillet PNG. I've taken out different spots on the chipmunk, and then I just brought in a pattern that I liked, and then you just put this one over it. See how that works? So you can create a whole bunch of different coloring pages. You could put like 5 of these on one page, make them smaller, fill them all in with different patterns, and it's really amazing because they all look different, right? So you could have one with circles, one with flowers, whatever kind of patterns you have to use. And I also made some, I put in some mandalas for you guys. Mandalas. I never know how to say that quite right. So you get, 30 mandalas too, and you can also use these as backgrounds on their own, right? And you can also use them to fill in your different fillet patterns. So you're just going to want to put that all the way to the back, send to back, and there, see, gives them a totally different look, which is really cool. And you always need the selection pane for this because it's hard to grab them when they're in the back. So just get your selection pane up, click on the picture you want so you can move it around. Right? I kind of like that. It's cool. So you can get a lot of different looks, and the mandalas you can also just use on their own, right? As coloring pages, they're awesome for that. A lot of people love mandalas, so use them, put them on a separate page. You can put the characters over them. Wait, let's see, I'm going to copy that. And let's go up. I'm going to just put it here. Paste that there. I would make it a bit smaller if you want to keep it within 8.5. And maybe I'll go grab this little guy. You can just copy him. Then bring him over here and paste. Alright, so you can make tons and tons of different styles, you know. The one with that you fill in yourself, you can make these complicated as you want, depending on the patterns you have, right? So it would make it more for an adult, right? Because a kid doesn't want to go through all this. Like the the chipmunk on its own is great for kids, has big coloring spaces within it. Whereas this would be more for an adult because they get to fill in little spaces and add a bit more color variety to it. So that's completely up to you. And then in between, add puzzles, mazes, whatever else you like, right? So I hope this helps and gives you an idea of how much you can do with this kit. And talk to you soon.